Jackson in the key. Kick out. Davenport.
A steal for Kentucky. Ahead to Reeves. Left wing three. Got it. Jackson weaves.
A dunk. Bounces off to Aiden and he slams it home.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Student Section. This is a podcast or a show all about SEC men's basketball with a little bit of NBA basketball and just general college basketball. I'm gonna be 100% transparent with you guys. This episode is more of just kind of like a filler episode. Because my next episode I'm gonna be covering second round predictions and first round recap for the NBA. So this episode is more so just kind of filling time because most of the series aren't over. One of them is I just finished watching the Suns and Timberwolves getting the Suns getting swept. Shout out Timberwolves. I'm gonna talk about that a lot more in my next episode because I got some haters I gotta address. But what else has happened? So I think the Bucks just went down 3-1 to the Pacers, so they're probably gonna lose this series. I just want to talk about that real quick. So this last game they played, they were without Dame and Giannis, obviously their two best players, and then they ended up losing Bobby Portis relatively early in the game to I think he got thrown out. So I'm not gonna really recap on what has happened in those series because, like I said, I want to save that for next episode. Let me pull this a little bit closer. Yeah, I want to save that for next episode. But I do want to mention, at this point in the series, I don't think there's any point in the Bucks rushing Giannis's return. I mean, I guess it won't hurt. They have nothing to lose at this point, but down 3-1. I don't know what Dame's return table or timetable is looking like for his return. I don't think there's any progress on Giannis. I think he just started practicing. At this point, there's no point in bringing him back. I think they just take their loss, go into free agency, maybe rebuild, trade some pieces around. I don't really know. Chris Middleton has been doing really good so far, just in terms of upping his production compared to the regular season. But yeah, Bucks are in trouble. This is not looking good for this team. Who knows what's going to happen in the offseason? We'll talk about that, I guess, more in the next episode. The Clippers and the Mavericks. Good series is tied up 2-2 as of today. I'm recording this the 28th. So as of today, it's tied up 2-2. And both games that Kawhi Leonard was there, the Clippers ended up losing. And both games that Kawhi wasn't there, the Clippers ended up winning. I'm not saying Kawhi is just this big problem. If he's on the court, they can't win. But it is apparent when watching that while Kawhi is on the court, you can tell he's still maybe a little bit of maybe the injury is still lingering, or just the fact that he's not in game shape. But yeah, that's the quick thing I want to talk about that. The Knicks 76ers, I believe, is tied up 2-2, or maybe it's 3-1. I'm not sure. But yeah, Joel Embiid has been amazing. I'm really surprised because I think in my last episode where I was previewing the episode before that where I was previewing the playoffs, I was saying that I wouldn't be surprised if whenever Joel Embiid comes back, he just doesn't look like he's in game shape. And honestly, he hasn't really looked like he's been in game shape. But he's dropping 50 bombs. Shout out Tyrese Maxey. He's been carrying a big load of this offense. Buddy Hield's been kind of absent. I think I mentioned in my that episode I was just talking about with the playoffs predictions. Buddy Hield and Nicholas Batum went crazy in that play-in game in order to just get them in the playoffs in general. But since then, they haven't really done much. With Buddy Hield, a guy like him who's a off-ball catch-and-shoot guy, whenever you have two guys like Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid that can create double teams, that can draw people in, they have big gravity while off-ball, you would think that would help create more shots for Buddy Hield, give him more production opportunities, but it hasn't really been there. That's what I want to say about that series. I don't think there's anything else worth mentioning. Obviously, the Lakers keep blowing leads. I don't think they're coming out of that series victorious. So far, most of my predictions are right. The only one that's looking like is going to be wrong is the Pacers, which I probably honestly should have picked them, but it's whatever. The Pacers. Oh, the Magic. So the Magic, the first two games of that Cavs-Magic series was ugly, really ugly, both sides. I mean, I don't think either team put over 100 points. I know for sure that first game, both teams were in like the 80s. But since then, the two games, I believe, in Orlando, the Magic have just been destroying. I think they beat the Mavs by 40 and then 20-something. So they've been destroying the Cavs. Who knows what's going to happen once we go back to Cleveland? We'll see. This is some interesting series so far. The Heat stole a game against the Celtics, so I think it's 2-1 right now. But I don't think the Heat are going to keep stealing games, especially whenever they don't have Terry Rozier or Jimmy Butler. They have a few other injuries out here and there. But the progression from Tyler Hero has been nice. A lot of people, honestly, not a lot of people. I haven't been seeing see people talk about it that much. But just the overall playmaking and game managing of Tyler Hero has just been significantly increased. Tyler Hero has traditionally been the guy who comes off the bench and shoots the ball. He scores the ball. He doesn't really look to play make, doesn't really manage the game, doesn't direct the offense. But you see it. Even whenever he doesn't have the ball, he's telling dudes where to go on a play. He's organizing plays. He can see the vision of the play happening before it happens. And that's just amazing development from a guy like Tyler Hero, whose value seemed kind of capped as just a six-man scorer, kind of like that Jamal Crawford type build. Lou Williams, Jordan Clarkson, just that style of build. But with this development and playmaking, if he can develop his defense just a little bit more, you can definitely see him being more than just a six-man off the bench scorer. Speaking of six-man, some of the awards have started to come out. So shout out Naz Reid. I would have liked to see Malik Monk win that award just because, Malik Monk's my guy. Went to the same high school as him. Didn't go to high school at the same time as him, I don't think. But I went to the same high school that he went to. Not really. It's whatever. I went to Bentonville West. He went to Bentonville. Doesn't matter. Anyways. Tyrese Maxey won Most Improved. I like that. I would have liked to seen it go to Kobe White, but it's fine. I think Tyrese Maxey deserved it. Once again, it's a late recording. I'm going to mention that. That's why my mind is stumbling. Bed isn't made. I should have mentioned that sooner in the episode. But yeah, what other awards have come out? I think that's it as of now. I think that's the only awards that have come out as of now. So I just want to touch on those. But now that that is all out of the way, all of our NBA recap is out of the way, we can get into the meat of this episode. The main theme of it, I'm ranking my top 10 favorite players to watch from this past 2023 to 24 season in men's SEC basketball. I'm going to go ahead and say this real quick. As you guys may know, I am an Arkansas fan. I'm going to point at that every time I say this. I managed to limit myself to only 2 players from Arkansas. Otherwise, this whole list would have just been Arkansas players. So I managed it down to 2 players from Arkansas. And I also want to mention, this isn't going to be a bunch of just the top name guys. I tried to pick as many guys that weren't as well known as everyone else in the league, because these are guys that I really enjoy watching. I think these are guys that if you are bored and you want to watch some college basketball highlights, these are the guys you want to watch. I'm telling you, these guys are fun. And they're not really household names. They're not people that you just know from the SEC. They're more just guys on the DL that I think, well, most of them are. Some of them are obviously going to be more notable, but yeah, I'm just trying to give love to some of the guys that don't get it. And so with that being said, the first player I have ranked, or I guess the 10th spot, so the very last player on this list, is Jeremiah Davenport out of Arkansas. He just played his last year, so I'm sad to see him go. Hopefully he declared for the draft, I know that, so hopefully he gets drafted or gets some sort of overseas opportunity, NBA, maybe G League, Summer League, some sort of opportunity, because I love his game. He's a very energetic 3-and-D wing, pretty much, your prototypical 3-and-D wing. I think he has one of the best-looking jump shots in the league, talking about SEC. He has one of the best-looking jump shots in the league. He's super efficient from catch and shoot. He can create his own shot just a little bit. He can get to the rim just a little bit, but he's just more so that catch and shoot 3-and-D guy. But he can also get a little bit of rebounds here and there. He's, for his size, I think he's only 6'6", maybe. He can offensive and defensively rebound pretty good for his size. He kind of reminds me of, obviously not play style, but just his ability to rebound reminds me of like Josh Hart, kind of just tenacious, get in there, get the rebound, do the dirty work. Yeah, all-around guy. He's a team player. He loves, like, you can just tell he just loves seeing his team succeed. He's always on the bench, hype, no matter what. He reminds me of that Kobe White I was talking about earlier. He's the same way, where even if they're not in the game, they're the most excited player in the entire arena, even if they're not playing. But yeah, Jeremiah Davenport, hustle guy, shooter, defender, and an energy guy, just off the bench. He's not going to go out there like Pat Beverly kind of energy, but support his team kind of energy. I love to watch his highlights. So yeah, number 9 on this list is Dylan Cardwell. I mentioned him a couple of times in my awards episodes and the following episode from the awards being announced and stuff. His archetype is like my favorite type of center. Number 35 for UConn. I can't remember his name right now, but he is the same kind of archetype. Aaron Bradshaw is another type of guy like this, where they call him, I think his nickname there in Auburn is Big Red, which red stands for rebounds, energy, and defense, which he provides perfectly. I think he was like 5th or 6th in the league in blocks, and that's him coming off the bench. He's pretty high up there in rebounds as well, and energy. I think I've said this before. Anytime he dunks the ball, it looks like he's trying to rip the rim off the goal. I think I do need to mention that he is. I think I just said he's the backup center to Janai Broome, and he's I've said this many times. I think he's the best backup center in all of college basketball. The only competition he really has is number 35 from UConn. I don't remember his name, but I love Dylan Cardwell. Super efficient, super effective while he's in the game. He just does all the right things. Doesn't really make any turnovers. And he just gets super energetic blocks. He yells in the crowd. He hypes the crowd up. He's dunking on people, ripping the rim off, like I said. I just love watching him. I just love his energy. With that being said, we're moving on to the 8th spot, which is Cameron Matthews out of Mississippi State. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, that was hard to remember. He's on the list for a little bit of a different reason than everybody else on here, and it's that I love his defense. I love watching him play defense. He was my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously didn't win it, but I don't even know if he got mentioned or any sort of stuff like that. I didn't look into it. Because he can defend pretty much all. I could say he can defend 1 through 4. I don't think he can really defend centers. He's not tall enough, but he's strong enough for 4s. He's long enough for 3s, and he's quick enough for 2 and 3 or 1 and 2 guards. He can guard 1 through 4 on the court. He moves. He slides his feet super well. He gets steals without fouling. He picks the ball at the right time. He's just a super annoying defender. Like, he's just one of those guys that can defend without fouling, similar to like a Drew Holiday or like a Mikal Bridges, just defends without fouling. And he's not really going to be loud-mouthing like a Pat Bev or a Dylan Brooks type of defender, but he's just going to be in your head, locking you down, not really saying too much. I love watching his defensive highlights. He can also score the ball a little bit too, so he's not just a one-sided defender type of guy. He has an offensive bag too. I just love watching Cameron Matthews because he does pretty much everything on the floor, especially on the defensive end. So shout out Cam Matthews. Number 7 is Ezra Manjon out of Vanderbilt. The reason I mention him is because anytime I watch a Vanderbilt game, he's really the only exciting player I like watching, which I'm going to say the next player is also just like that. But yeah, he carried a lot of that offensive load for this Vanderbilt team, which just wasn't good. Just flat out wasn't good. His bag, I love guys that have bags, which you'll probably end up seeing this on this list, that these guys are all they're pretty scorers. They have a beautiful game. They have a sexy game. Excuse my language, but yeah, they just have that. They just play like their play style is just attractive looking play style. No homo. Pause. But yeah, I just love watching him play. And Sean East II is making it in at the 6th spot out of Missouri. I'm on record giving him so much love for this season. Like I've always said, I think he should have made an all-SEC team, whether it's first or second. I think he should have made one of those teams, but that's besides the point. I think he's averaging a ton of points, pretty much carried this Missouri team offensively, just in terms of just getting a bucket whenever they need it. I love Sean East. He's got the drip. He's got the bag. He can score. I don't know if he can really defend. I haven't been paying too much attention to him defensively just because I'm not going to watch a Missouri game this year. Sorry, Missouri fans. It just wasn't too fun to watch unless you guys were playing like Kentucky, Arkansas, or Auburn. That's pretty much the only time I watched you guys. But man, Sean East can score. He can really, really, really score. I don't know if he's graduating. I don't know if he's transferring. I hope he's staying in Missouri, or maybe he goes somewhere where he'll actually win. But he proved that he is that man. He also made my Breakout Player of the Year, which is just a little award that I made on my own. But I think he like upped his points per game by 10. What more can I say? Give him the opportunity, he's going to score. And number 5 is Allen Flanigan. I think I mentioned this on the last episode as well. I mentioned him a lot. Transferred out of Auburn, went to Ole Miss to get a bigger role, and he completely flourished and succeeded in that role. He grew so much just from last season. I'm like a broken record whenever I talk about Allen Flanigan. Last year with Auburn, he was just a come off the bench, shoot kind of guy, like what I was just talking about with Tyler Hero. That's what his role used to be. Come off the bench, score some buckets. And that was pretty much it. But then he goes to Ole Miss and he becomes this starting guard. He becomes one of their best players. He's a defensive menace. His defensive just overall defensive impact grew tremendously. He became a better floor manager, a better playmaker, just a better overall team player. And once again, he's just another guy with a bag. I love watching him. I remember at Auburn, he was really frustrating to watch just because he's one of those guys that he's going to take really difficult shots, and they're either going to miss badly, and they're going to be very poorly timed shots, which is going to put the team in jeopardy, or he's going to make super big shots and put the team in a succeeding position. So Allen Flanigan, I love his growth. I love watching him play. That's my number 5 spot. Man, I'm moving through this list really quick, but I mean, what is there really to say? It's just these are guys that I just love watching. Go watch their film. I'm telling you, these guys are amazing. Number 4, may surprise people just because this is my second homer pick. You would think he'd be a little bit higher. Honestly, 4 is still pretty high. I try to move him down just so it didn't seem like I was being too biased, but it's my list. These are people that I enjoy watching. So Tramon Mark at the number 4 spot. Once again, on this Arkansas team that just wasn't good this year, he was really the only player night in and night out that looked like he wanted to play, looked like he wanted to win. So shout out Tramon Mark. They call him mid-range Mark. I like to call him the marksman. But he's an op now because he went to Texas. But it's whatever. He's one of my favorite. I guess he is my favorite player from this last year at Arkansas. He's just, his jump shot is a little weird. He's got a really weird hitch on it, but he can just he has unpluckable, like the badge from 2K. He's got that unpluckable badge to Hall of Fame. I rarely ever saw him get the ball stolen from him. He's just an amazing point of attack defender. He's super long, super quick on his feet. He can defend guys. He pokes the ball free. He got a lot of steals last year. Runs the break. He's so good at his height. I think he's like 6'6", 6'5", maybe 6'7". He's got a super long wingspan. He can pull up and shoot over pretty much anybody. No one's really quick enough to keep up with him. So Texas got a good one with him. I'm really sad to see him go. Like I said, he's an op now. But shout out Tramon Mark. All right, so we're rounding it off with the top 3. I think these are the most electric players in the league, in my opinion. So if you want to go watch basketball, you want to watch basketball from last season, you want to catch up on some college basketball, maybe you just want to watch college basketball in general, these are the 3 guys that you need to go watch their highlights, bro. I'm telling you. Number 3, Antonio Reeves. I have a lot to say about Antonio Reeves. I'm going to save it. I'm telling you, I'm going to explode on that draft episode because I have so much to just rant about with him. Good stuff. It's not bad. It's good stuff. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. But his jump shot is just so smooth. It's buttery. It's so silky. It's quick. He doesn't have to, no weird hitches, no weird dips. He just catches it. It's so smooth. Super efficient from 3. He wasn't the highest percentage shooter on his team, but I think he shot like a 45-46% efficiency from 3. And that's him like he's making his own shots. He's dribble, pull up, sidestep, step back, catch and shoot, whatever you need. He does it efficiently. That's why I think he was the best shooter in the entire SEC. You have guys like Reed Sheppard who shot 50% from 3, but he's primarily doing it off of just a quick dribble, pull up, or mostly catch and shoot. I think Antonio Reeves is shooting higher difficulty shots at just slightly below efficiency compared to Reed Sheppard. So I think Antonio Reeves is the best shooter in the league. And he doesn't get enough credit for his playmaking in terms of breaking his defender down and driving to the hoop or creating for others and just setting the entire offense up. He doesn't get enough credit for that. He's another guy who had a tremendous growth. He won 6th Man of the year before, which would be the 22-23 year. Comes in as a starter and ends up scoring 3rd most points in the entire SEC. I think right at 20, 21 maybe, something like that. I love Antonio Reeves' game. Shout out Kentucky. But yeah, number 2 on this list is Wade Taylor IV. Wade Taylor IV, Wade Taylor IV, and Wade Taylor IV. IV 1-4. That doesn't make sense. Out of Texas A&M, I love watching him play. I know Texas A&M fans are a little indifferent on him just because he is one of those guys. He's going to shoot a lot of really difficult shots, and he's probably going to miss some, and he's probably going to make some. Some games he might miss a lot of them, and the fans might hate him like, bro, why is he shooting all these bad shots? or he's making all the minutes like this is the greatest player of all time. This is Michael Jordan's son. Shout out Anthony Edwards. Shout out Jimmy Butler. Oh my gosh, I love watching him play because he just doesn't give up. He's one of those guys that is not affected by how many shots he's missed. He's going to shoot the ball. Like I just said, that's either going to kill the team or help support the team and help them win. But he's one of those guys that is going to shoot the life out of the ball. He's going to shoot the leather off the ball. He can score at all three levels. He can get to the rim. He's crafty around the rim, can finish around and through contact. He can get up to his mid-range. He can pull up over defenders. Even though he's pretty short, he can blow by defenders, get a quick pull-up, floaters. He can shoot the three, step back, sidestep, spin around, backflip. Any way you can think of someone shooting the three-point, he can shoot it. He's a three levels threat. He can, not really the best defender. Like I said, he's a little undersized, but most of these guys on this list are going to be offensive players. All of these guys are going to be offensive players except for Dylan Cardwell and Cameron Matthews. Everyone else is offensive guys. What can I say? I love watching offense. I love watching bad guys. Bag, B-A-G, not B-A-D. So yeah, Wade Taylor IV is my second favorite player to watch this past season. So yeah, now we move on to the very anticipated, highly, what's the word I'm thinking of? Highly, whatever. The number one spot, I blurred him out on the thumbnail. I tried to make it a little mysterious, but I'm sure everyone knows where I'm going with this. And by everyone, I mean my 12 viewers. Shout out everybody who's watching. Rob Dillingham. This is the ultimate bag guy. I've been talking about bag this, bag that, bag him, bag her, whatever. Rob Dillingham is the bag guy. B-A-G. Once again, B-A-G, not B-A-D. He is so crafty with his gather moves, his finishing moves, his finesse moves. He's so quick and shifty. He's one of the shiftiest players I've ever watched. A little inefficient from the mid-range. He can shoot the three ball pretty efficiently for a freshman. He can get to the rim. There was a lot of times where he did force bad layups, but in just terms of just exciting to watch, this is the guy. This is the guy. I can't wait for his journey in the NBA. I will say this, he is going to be one of those guys that might struggle his first year just because he's not the most polished in terms of just getting to easy shots, because he does take a few bad shots, but he's just so shifty, so quick, so exciting to watch. So if you have never seen a Rob Dillingham highlight reel, anything, I encourage you to go watch it, whether he's with OTE, high school, Kentucky, any sort of off-season training, summer league stuff. I'm telling you, you have to go watch this dude's highlights. You have to watch everyone on this list if you want. If you love basketball, these are guys that are just super fun to watch. So yeah. It was pretty much, like I said, pretty much just a filler episode. A little update on NBA stuff, my opinion on it. But my next episode is going to be a lot more in-depth in terms of NBA stuff. A lot more in-depth. I do want to say I'm loving the Arkansas transfers right now. I think we have the second best freshman class coming in. We only have one freshman or one transfer, and that's Zvonimir Ivisic. I think I said his first name right. Big Z. The other three are super exciting freshmen. I cannot wait for this season. Excuse me. But yeah, stay tuned for next episode NBA coverage. I'm gonna be predicting the second round playoffs. I'm gonna be recapping on the previous first round, all my thoughts and opinions on it. And like I said, I got some haters I want to address. I'm gonna address them by name too. So if you guys are watching this, be prepared for the next episode. I'm coming with all the smoke, all the heat. I'm not holding back. I promise I'm not holding back. So be ready for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.